Hi everyone, hope you all are doing really well. So this is like banking application testing and the significance of banking application testing. So you should be knowing that if you're switching your domain from any other domain and getting into banking domain application, so you'll be knowing more detail about banking application testing, what all testing involved, and what is the significance of banking application testing, and what is the importance and what is the object and purpose. So these all things will be there in this video, and in my upcoming video I'm gonna cover the challenges, like maybe there are new as I think I had a video, but I think that was really old now. But with the new technologies like digital solutions and everything, we have a new video coming on. So stay tuned, and you can subscribe to my channel and click on the notification so that you will get notified whenever I'll upload a video. So yeah, let's go ahead with banking application testing and significance of banking application testing. So what is banking application testing? So banking application testing is a purpose where dedicated software solutions undergo a QA analysis that made specifically for financial operations. So these tests will be executed in order to determine the security, performance and functionality of a banking application. So the primary purpose of approaching this testing aspect is to ensure that every features within the banking app work as expected for both financial institute as well as for the like financial company or financial domain or like organization, as well as for the end users who are like we use the financial services right from the bank. So yeah, as you know, the banking, financial services and insurance industry is quite big, and the application that the key players offer a deal with confidential financial information on point. So therefore it becomes mandatory for the key players like the testers or the developers that their banking applications are performing smoothly without any security vulnerabilities or errors, may it be transferring money, inquiring about the balance or checking transactions. With the these are the plethora of the digital features, like when we have the applications, now we have banking applications. So that's we have. So if you see it with the rapid increase, there's a dependency on digital solutions. So there are digital solutions as in like we use applications, we use online applications, we use online platforms to transfer the money, we use different app like Paytm, phone pay. So these are the digital solutions we use. So with the increase, so the need of this business to hire a proficient banking application testing companies, like it's very important, like the banking application testing becomes very important, or very efficient testing is very necessary with this one. So when you hand over the job to the expert, you can attain the peace of mind. Like if I'm a good tester, you know that your tester is good, and your developer is good, then you'll be having a peace of mind when you're running or when you are involved in banking application, or you're working with developer or tester in the banking organizations. So that kind of dependencies we have it, so that kind of responsibilities as a banking application testers we have it. So all the features or the functionalities of the app are working conditions. So with this consent, we'll have some common challenges also, we have some purpose also, we some approaches also what we are following. I think we're gonna go ahead with this, and with this I think you can understand the architectural layer of a business application. So the banking application business, or what is banking application business is all about, and what is the significance of it and what is the purpose of it. I think with this you're gonna more like these are the parameters you're gonna understand in this video, like what all parameters are being involved in banking applications. So this video is like quite good, and I've tried made it so interactive. And let's see, there are certain points I've put it into the pointer so that you can grasp that point and understand it what it conveys. So the purpose is the primary purpose of approaching this testing expert to ensure that every features within the banking app work as expected for both financial institute as well as for the end user. As I said, as you know, banking, financial services and the insurance industry is quite big. So the applications the key player offer deal with the confidential financial information on point. And importance of testing in banking application or banking industries. Okay, so the banking industry is one of the most critical sector around the globe. More than believing in the convenience that digital banking solutions have to offer, people are more concerned about the security and the reliability of it. And mostly because banking apps hold enormous sensitive financial or personal data, deal with a great lot of money, right? There are a lot of money in the bank, right? So they're dealing with all those numbers. So like 1 0 will impact a lot of things, right? So as bank deal with a millions with a lot of money, millions or billions of money on a daily basis, you should not feel surprised to know banking application need regular testing to ensure that they are safe, they stay safe for the use of business and the consumer altogether. So bank deal with a lot of money as the industry is leveraging the potential of digitalization. Hackers have a good eye on vulnerabilities in the dedicated apps. Therefore, banks are in constant need of accessing their application system to secure the data and be cautious about the ones being shared with the customers. Like seeking banking application testing services will help you detect all the vulnerabilities and with the dedicated system. There are both automatic tool and manual approaches to make this possible. Trust the expert to determine the best course of action for your specialized application. So, as you also know, okay, okay. So, in today's digital world, banking applications are considered the most complex of all developments. And I think that my slides are lagging, I believe. Yeah. So, okay. The complex of all developments. So there are a lot of complicated regulations and compliance rules that the bank have to adhere to while launching their application, and their strict testing is one among them. So the regulator do not permit any kind of legal negligence in terms of testing and banking apps. And also, I think there's no diagram. Okay. So if the banks are reported to have neglected any aspect of software testing within their app or app development life cycle, then they might have to pay a hefty fine. That you know. Then yeah, if there is a bug or something, then bank has to pay that amount. That if they add a zero in someone's like hundreds, or if there is 10,000 in an account, and then 1 0 has been added. It become a lot of money, right? So yeah, that's something which is that 1 0 will impact many thing, or 2 0 will impact many thing, and then bank has to pay that happy fine. So therefore they rely on hiring the, that's why I'm saying that whenever people are coming and they wanted like there are people who are giving, I'm taking sessions with, they wanted to switch their domain in banking domain, and then this is the only domain wherein I get afraid of, and I really don't want people to just mug up the concept, because this is very complex. This is very complex things in banking application. There are a lot of risks involved. So it's like it affects their job also, and it's, you know, the organization they're working with, it will affect them also. So if you don't have knowledge, and I think you'll not be able to work peacefully. So it's better to gain the experience in the very first front, and at least learn more and more about it, and then go and try, because it's very challenging job. If you miss one of the bug, it's okay, but sometimes it's not okay also. So yeah. So the objective of testing, okay, so do you know that there is an inherent cost associated with the bugs in the software project or product? As per 2020 report, the cost of poor software quality or a cost of bug is estimated around dollar 607 billion for the United States alone. Also, the cost of the bug depends on the stage at which the same was unearthed during the process of software testing. Since there is no exponential increase in the cost of fixing bugs and defects, it is important to consider software testing during the earlier stage of the product development. This is where the team can leverage agile testing, a software testing methodology that is built on the same premises as agile development. Here are some software development and testing. Software development here, like software development and testing go hand in hand, so that the code is tested as on a continuous basis. Okay. So this is like requirement, in the requirement phase, the cost will be like negligible. Like in the design phase, if there is a relative cost of the bug, is still okay. In the coding phase, this is the cost which company is paying. In the testing phase, bug is there, this is the this much is the cost, is like 10% of something, and then it's like 100% of the cost if it is in product. So whatever you're building it, the company has to pay back if there is a bug in the prod. So that's kind of impact it is there in the banking software firm. So what is the significance of banking test application testing company? So ensuring security, regulatory compliance, customer satisfaction. And then we have more. So like we'll go for ensuring security. With this approach, the expert will ensure that the banking application doesn't have any flaws with respect to security. While preparing the test, a QA team will be appointed with both positive as well as negative test scenarios. So here you cannot, like in some of the organizations, you will not consider most of the negative scenarios. You don't have to write much of the test cases, or I'm not saying that like the deep something. You have to write the test cases, but in some of the organizations you don't have to do it actually. But here, like, you cannot miss a single test case. So there are firms wherein you cannot miss a single positive or negative test case. So if you miss it, it will associate it with the cost, but in many of the firms it doesn't. But in the banking, especially in the banking, there are many firms. When I was working with IBM, I was working with AT&T project. So there, I think if we miss one one bug also, there are a lot of hangama happen. So one of the test case, if anyone missed, so like one of the negative test cases, if we missed it, a lot of hangama happens. First you really have to have the clarity about the positive test cases and the negative test cases, and then you really have to have a real time negative or positive test cases for breaking into the app systems. Regulatory compliance. The banks are intend to meet a lot of compliance or regulatory requirement to ensure the safety of their applications for end consumers, and to make them legal as per the government norms. Any kind of violations of these regulatory policies might impose a heavy fine for the bank and might hamper its reputation as well. Customer satisfaction. While testing the banking application, as expert also take up the mental of validating the UX of the app as well. The users of the today expect banking application to be convenient, appealing, and intuitive. Any kind of issues with the UX might immediately lead the user to feel frustrated with the service and turn their back on it. Like sometimes it's very hefty. Like I was using some of the bank which I really don't like, and still it's a government bank. I cannot say any name of it also, but I feel little frustrated when I was doing it. And so you cannot do many things on the bank. Like I was using HDFC, and I think that is tremendous great application. They have it, and they are, with the time they are improving a lot. But I see there are banks which is not improving at all, and they're still doing the manual work, and which is sometimes frustrating. So yeah, as a user I can tell you. So and as I said about the ensuring security, right, like your positive test cases, and the purpose of you will also have the purpose to report any possible vulnerabilities at their own level, because they can be breached by unauthorized individual, right? So like when we talk about security, okay, the purpose for the security, the purpose of the expert is not just to safeguard the banking app from hacking attempts, but also to establish multi-layer of security to access validations. Like I have said to you, right? So there are dedicated automation tools wherein you can have um, like web inspect or some app scan, proxy sniffers for manually testing for the security. Okay. So what does a tester do in real banking application testing? So bank application testing is very complex process. No regular QA team can address its requirement. Therefore, a team of only domain expert, as I said, banking domain is very important, and I said to many of my students also who came to learn with me like testing and everything, we have sessions going on wherein people learn more of the testing things. But this is something wherein we just tell disclaimer for the banking. Yes. So therefore, a team of only a domain expert must stay that, but it's not like you can get into the system and then learn it also. Like I have learned a lot in 6 months of my job. I have learned many things. So it's just depends on you. You in 6 months you will become a pro in domain. But yeah, that's how it is. But you should know your truth as well, that where are you now actually and what you have to become. So if you are a beginner, or you have to become an intermediate, or you have to become the expert on it, so that's on your hard work. Okay. So it's easy to crack the interview and get into the system, but it's your hard work which make you from the beginner to expert. So it's not like it's not a rocket science. We all are humans, we all made it. We do mistakes, we learn from our mistakes, and we make something better out of it. So that's how we do. So yeah, therefore a team of only the domain expert must take a charge of the testing process for your banking applications, and they often make an approach through dedicated stages. There is a complete process of how banking application are to be tested by professionals, and here is a brief insight into all the involved stages. There's gathering the test requirements and reviewing them. So in the first stage, the QA team will be instructed to discuss with you the functionality of your banking app. Oh god, I just got. Following that, they will be gathering information on your testing requirement, reviewing them to be sure of what you expect. The aim of this approach is to understand the functionality of every app before it can be tested. This helps the expert to take note of how every features within the application must it just got a knack. Okay. Well, this helps the expert to take the note of how every features within the application must work, and possibly take the compliance on any area that is performing inconsistently. Q expert with expert with the in-depth experience and knowledge of handling banking projects are the only one who can understand and gather the associated test requirements. Okay, we filter out the requirement, right? At times, some of the gathered information upon the requirement feel too vague or controversial. In such cases, like uh, we must like as a tester we can imagine like what can be suited better, what cannot be, what can be improved, but it can be controversial as well sometimes. So in such cases, the expert often take the discussion to all technical and the business stakeholders. Right. Planning the test is a common stage in all type of software testing. Like we'll plan the task. So the QA team will use the gathered information and do all the detailed process planning. This phase will be cover certain crucial aspects such as testing deliverables, the scope of testing, the required test deliverables, roles and responsibilities, required test environments, and others, etc. There are a lot of things. Development of the test cases and creation of automated script or the automation script. This stage where the QA specialists intend to draw up detailed test cases to make the final approach. It is an important stage as it would cover all the required scenarios in the testing environment, both functional and the non-functional. Here the expert will aim to implement high test coverage and gain accurate result and optimize the process. Okay. So automation testing will also be introduced to the process, and the test script will be also be written in correspondence with the same. Test automation is one of the greatest option for implementing test cases that need the repeated executions or are time intensive. In short, all banking application tests are complex, that we know. For manual implementations can be performed efficiently. But at the same time, manual testing is also used in accordance with the automation testing for carrying out exploratory usability and ad hoc. Other such tests that can't go through any human supervisions. Alright, that. I think this is cute. Then we have running the test. So this is the heart of all stages combined where the test cases will be executed. Whether, okay, the entire QA process relies upon running the test cases. Your banking application will be checked against the prior test cases. Following that, automated tests are executed to check the applications for various bottlenecks or bugs. Under this, there are different types of tests that the QA team would conduct on your banking applications, which include, now we have a lot of testing. This is kind of results we have it, like we have a cucumber report, right? Your functional testing and the database testing. Under this, feature of your banking applications will be checked to ensure they are working as expected. For banking app with high-end features, for banking app with high-end features, intensive functionality testing is approached. Okay, database testing. Your database is a separate entity from that the actual banking applications. Therefore, it requires utmost testing with a complete attention with this test. The expert verify the database structure, data integrity, data flow, data types, data loading speed, and others, like many things in the data, like how data is loading, how data is from the APIs, how it is fetching the data, how it's passing the data. Everything is being tested with the database testing. Now we have performance testing, the security testing. So performance testing will ensure your app performs seamlessly with utmost responsiveness. It will check if the application loads faster and display all the requirement information on demand or not. Like let's say most in the night, or maybe on the first or second of the month, or the initial days of the month, a lot of transactions happens in terms of people are depositing rent and many things they'll be doing it. So there are times when the multiple user hit the application at the same time and do the transaction at the same time. So that time there are chances that the application will crashes. So crash or the money transactions like at the same time will happen very different way, like some money transfer in some different account, like any other person's account or a different person. So those things has to be tested very carefully. So these kind of transactions also happen. So we also have in a bank, how we test real time in the bank, that we also have some dummy accounts wherein we play with the numbers, or we also have some dummy cards wherein we play with the numbers there, and we'll see the values coming or not, the money is reflecting over there or not. There are a lot of testing being happen. There are real time user as well, where we have some real user as well, and then with the expertise we have some amount, and then with the amount we play or we check out, we do our testing with different transactions and see it. Okay, but especially in the performance testing, you cannot have 100 accounts, right? So you'll virtual create the 100 users and see it hitting the transaction at the same time, to see your application is working fine or not. So following that, this test would be look out for any crashes or lags that app witnesses, which might lead to poor user experience. Security testing is the most important testing. These two are the very important testing into the banking. So if somebody asks you like what all testing is involved in your banking application testing, so these are the very important testing. You cannot say that you've never worked on these things. So you really need to know about these parameters and these aspect of testing. So the important aspect of the running banking app test is to determine the security against potential threats. So these tests will specify if all loopholes or vulnerabilities of the banking app are closed or fixed. In case there are any security flaws, they should be detect them and would prompt the developer to prioritize fixing them. This is a high priority bug in terms of security or performance testing. Usability testing. Usability quotients of the banking application should be on the point. Just having the optimal features on your banking applications won't ensure a great user experience. It needs in-depth usability testing to specify all types of consumers, including both tech-savvy as well as the technology-challenged people. Those who are not use this much, right? So it should be that user-friendly also, so that the person who's not using much, who's not a software engineer, who's not from that background, also engineering background, they can be easily able to use it. So it should be that user-friendly. The reason why expert consider this priority test is it would specify the user friendliness of the entire app. This includes the step that the user are asked to perform over the application to execute an action. Compliance testing and accessibility testing. So I think this video is a little big and I'm speaking and I'm tired, but stay with me guys. I think this is gonna help you out in your interviews, and give my effort a little appreciation by subscribing it, because I didn't had a water, I think, since from after I had my dinner and I just started recording the video. Now I'm feeling like little, you can experience my voice has something, but anyways, I have water later. So all the guidelines are set by the regulatory authority should be met for banking applications to be made accessible by user. The QA team will ensure that your banking app is in the compliance with the relevant laws and regulations. Compliance testing isn't optional for banking apps, as any kind of violence against federal or state laws can lead to suspension of operations. Accessibility testing. Banking app targets millions of people with their geographical circle. Therefore, it is possible that some customer with physical challenges such as sensory or mental disability might also feel the necessity of accessing banking solutions. Therefore, running accessibility tests that make easy for banks to add unique functions to the application to make it accessible to people of all types. Thank you guys. Thank you for bearing with me, and I think it's a long video, but it will be really important for you guys, and I hope you find it useful. And till that time, thank you. And my next video is coming on challenges, and which is very important, but this video is also important to understand because this is the first part and the next one is the second part. Then yeah, thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel or share it and like it. Thank you.